Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
The academic journey is concerned, Mr. Sharma has already briefed about it. After, as he said, doing MTech from IIT Roorkee, I did a specialized course in computer applications and hydrology, again from then University of Roorkee and now IIT Roorkee. And also, I completed my business management from Dr. Rajendra Prasad Communication College from Mumbai. And then I did my doctorate in water resources from University of Delaware, US. And I have been working since 1985 in the field of groundwater in private sector. Prior to it, in the government, when I was working, I worked and found out the water resources for Air Force in Mount Abu, which was a difficult task as water was to be made available at Guru Sikhar, which is the top of granite hills of Mount Abu. So there we were successful in getting the underground water reserves and helped the country by locating the water resources and providing good drinking water to our Air Force. And similarly, many other such investigations were done and many academic things they were completed. And then in private sector, when I was working for the water conservation, then we brought out the model how the storm water which falls on the road apart from whatever we do for the houses, how the storm water falls on roads and goes a waste that could be channelized into groundwater so that the problem of stagnant water sorry on the roads could be used for gainful purpose of the humanity. And also it helps in eco balance because when saturation is there along both the sides of the road, when we make the water structures and through drains we carry the water, then more plantation could be there without any extra need of water. And similarly, we would be able to enhance the water availability in the regions where there is no water. Life of roads would increase. Whatever we spend money on the repairs, frequent repairs on the road, that could be stopped. So we have done such kind of jobs in many industries and few pilot projects. And now we are to implement this on a bigger scale. So this has been a brief about different aspects of our academics. And
Dr. Jain, I remember the year, of course, I am not remembering that you were invited by the ex-president of India in his.
Yeah. This
can you please?
This concept and the paper was published in by University of Cambridge, and there they printed this in their one of the books called Advances in Geosciences, and that came to Rashtrapati Bhavan, and it came to the notice of Dr. Kalam because in one of the international magazines this article appeared, this particular research paper, and he read that paper and then he invited me to Rashtrapati Bhavan to further discuss, and he wanted whether this model could be replicated on the national highways of the country, because we have large national highways, and if this model could be adopted on those highways, then it would really be a wonderful thing for the country, and we can advance the problem of scarcity of water, which could come in next couple of years by another 20 years. So that was the estimation and calculations. So that's how he was interested, and he discussed for more than an hour on this topic, and then he recommended to the Ministry of Water Resources as well as PMO, and then thereafter he himself was no more president, and also AB Vajpayee, who was the then Prime Minister, he was also not there after a few months, and after that I do not know what has happened to this particular recommendations.
One more thing, Dr. Jain, I have seen photograph of Dr. Bhairav Singh Ji Shekhawat, the ex-Vice President of India.
Yeah.
Your
This was the first project of water conservation, which was done in Jaipur by me. It was in Rotary Bhavan, Jaipur. So we tried to develop a model on sending the water both. There are two aquifers there. One is the alluvium aquifer, other is the rocky aquifer. So simultaneously, how to send the water in hygienic manner to both these aquifers, that was done, and then it was followed by many other organizations in Jaipur as well as in Rajasthan. So it was one of the pioneer projects in water conservation, which was inaugurated by the then Vice President of India, Bhairav Singh Ji Shekhawat.
Dr. Jain, you must be knowing that the World United is an organization which is working for the peace in the entire world. And you are working in water conservation, in ecosystem, and there is a new term, ecosystem spirituality. So can you please throw some light on ecosystem spirituality, and how by preserving the ecosystem we can increase the spirituality of the entire world?
Yeah, before I talk to ecosystem, I feel water itself is a pivotal to the spiritual aspects, because our human body itself is made up 70% of the more than 70% of the water. All the neurons, the nerves, and the entire body is made up of water. This earth itself, more than 75%, it is we have the water only on the earth, in the oceans, and also lakes and the river bodies and other kinds of. So what we find, of course, the eco balance is also water, because based on water only, entire eco balance that revolves. Then we find that what I personally feel, that wherever the water has been, either in the rivers or the oceans or in the waterfalls, it creates the different sounds. Like we have the ripple sounds, where the wave, in the form of wave, like when the water travels in the river, as well as a different kind of a pleasing sign leading to meditation wherever we have the waterfalls. And I found a lot of spiritual activities along the sides of the waterfalls, the river. Like even Ganges has been considered as very holy water, and wherever it flows, we have number of spiritual centers. So what I feel, that like most of our aquatic life, that is also in the oceans, and there's a survival of the human race as well as plant life, animal life, on water itself. And besides, what I feel, that plant life, animal life, all these consisting a cycle on the planet Earth, and that ecological cycle is probably water centered. And so I feel that the water is very important in ecological balance, and the spiritual aspects also are connected with water itself. Purifies both the inner body as well as the outer body, and our even most of the religious rituals start by cleansing the things with water. Even the statue of the god and goddesses are being cleansed by water only. So I think there's a good connection between the water and the spiritual thoughts. It helps in the meditation part, the purification of the inner self. So I think this is how the ecological balance is connected with the water and our spiritual aspects.
One more question, Dr. Jain. Jain philosophy and spirituality. Can you please throw some light on that?
Okay. I know very little, but then let me try, because the Jain philosophy says that the water has a lot of microorganisms which are not seen by the eyes, naked eyes. And later on, science has also proved that there are thousands of microorganisms which are seen with the help of microscope. And we have both kinds of organism, harmful as well as a good organism. So Jainism says right from beginning, when even scientists did not prove that you have got to filter the water, there are different methods which have been described in Jain literature. That water is to be cleansed. Water has to be filtered, and then it is to be used for drinking. Then further, the Jain philosophy says that you should not use water more than 48 hours after once you filter it. Because again, the organism, they do develop, and therefore this water should be every time it is to be filtered. And then water itself has been considered on a larger dimension. One of the uh, one of the life source, a life creation, like even earth and the water, and that also I find in Hindu philosophy that we have five tattvas: the water, the then your apart from water you have earth, then you have fire, all these elements. So I think these are interconnected, and Jainism says very good literature on it, where itself a lot of emphasis given on water conservation in Jainism right from thousands of years before, that every drop of water is to be conserved, because if we waste this water more than what we need, then we are harming the creations. We are becoming part of a violence, and that is against the principles of Jainism.
Now you are Rotarian, Dr. Jain, and this Rotary movement, it has also got a lot of connection with spirituality. Then how by this Rotary movement and the movement of the world united, how we can connect these together and spread peace and happiness in the world?
Because I have very brief association with the word united, but through you, what I little know is probably objective of the word united is to find out the spiritual dimensions and observe and practice the spiritual aspects along with what we are doing in this physical world. And the Rotary puts a lot of emphasis on the inner peace, on the happiness of the humanity, how we can bring happier world, more happier world. And there I find, apart from what physically we are helping, like through medicines, through clothes, and through other things, the spiritual dimension, if it is to be considered in Rotary, then probably we would be willing to work on physical level also more, because from the not because we have to be a Rotarian we have to do, but from our inner heart, from our inner self, it will come out that we should help not only the humanity, but we have got to save the plant life, we have to save the animal life, and this spirituality should be taken to the another dimension also for the other forms of life apart from the human beings.
Dr. Jain, we want to spread this movement of the world united throughout Rajasthan. In fact, throughout the world, but so far as I am concerned, throughout Rajasthan. Can you please help us through Rotary clubs of different places of Rajasthan?
Why not? Kindly help me and provide me some literature on it. And then I'll go through the literature and how, whichever way we can little modify, and then we can spread among the Rotarians, and then we can definitely keep your talk or somebody else who is interested in this field in different clubs to create the awareness. More awareness will be there. There are people who will be interested in the spiritual aspects, because we have even one committee which looks after the spirituality in Rotary.
I'll request Dr. Yugandhar to please say something about this, something about the World United movement.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Jain. It's a great pleasure to listen to your experiences.
Yeah, it's my pleasure too. In fact, I know very little about the spirituality and the spiritual aspects. More I have been working in Rotary and other physical world. My friend PN Sharma, he has reached a very higher pedestal as far as the spirituality is concerned. And I'll always learn from him because I'm closely associated with him. And then through him, I learn through you people also. And I look forward to have good connection with each one of
you. We'd like to invite you to the National Council, sir.
Oh,
it would be my pleasure. I would be pleased to do that. Yeah.
Dr. Padambavam Sharma is our elder, sir, here in the World United.
Yes.
So we have a lot of respect for him, for what he is.
Yeah, he deserves. He deserves. He deserves.
He's the president of the World United Rajasthan chapter.
Yes.
And he's the founder president, in fact, the first president, PW. Yeah. And of course, your experience and knowledge of groundwater, the presence of water, and locating them, maybe conserving them, and using various methods of purification of water, whatever it may be, your knowledge about water has been already appraised by him and Renukaji, who is our Secretary General of the country, the World United, who is there here with us. So about the World United, it is basically a platform where we are inviting the forces of light and truth wherever they are across the world. All the wise men should work together, not in a scattered way or individual way, because the impact of an individual goes disseminated. It will not be really long lasting. So when all the wise people, the people who are working on the positive change of the world, join together, giving their expertise of their field of action, and all these integrated approaches will definitely impact the world in a powerful way. Based upon this idea, the World United has been initiated, sir. And we have conducted a lot of powerful events like World Parliaments on Spirituality. 2020 was our last global event, which was manifested continent-wise in all the 6 continents, with speakers coming from 170 countries. So following that year, we started the nation-wise activity, nation-wise movement. We called it as Global Transformation Festival in all the countries. So far, we have done in many countries across all 6 continents. It to be completed. It has to be completed with the involvement of each and every country of the world. And now in India, we are going to start state-wise summits. We are calling it as We Are One Summit, because basically at a consciousness level, we are all one. Though physically we are different, different gender, different body shape, different age, but at level of deep down consciousness level, everyone is same. So We Are One Summit is the name given to state or provincial level of activity that we are doing. So basically, it is a platform where people like you, wonderful people, wonderful souls are there everywhere. but they're all living and doing, in their own four world zones, or maybe with a group of people. But when we all come together from across the world, not from one state or one country, but everywhere, when wise people come and join as a focal point, a quantum of energy, if each person becomes a quantum of energy, the quantum network that we are building, the grid of consciousness that we are building is going to be very impacting and long lasting. Based upon this idea, the world has been initiated. Sir. That's the main idea. So, and with the frequent interactions, maybe on WhatsApp chat groups and Zoom calls like this, and some more sessions with you like this, maybe we can understand you better, and we also gain wisdom from you. Yes, sir.
So thank you, Dr. Jain. Thanks a lot for accepting our invitation for today. And I'll send you the form. You please join the National Council.
Absolutely. It has been pleasure to see you virtually, all of you. Yeah, and hope to physically meet and gain.
Definitely.
And gain, because I'm a learner as far as spirituality is concerned. So definitely I would like to enhance my level of understanding.
I am a fan of yours so far your humbleness is concerned.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Dr. Renukaji, you want to ask something?
Sir, I have one question which is very contradictory. So, Dr. Jain, sir, he is into preservation. And Jainism says when you preserve, you have, the germs. So how do you justify these two statements, sir?
No, preserve doesn't mean that you store the water. Jainism says you conserve the water by avoiding the wastage of water. And only water is to be used the minimum bare requirement you have, not beyond that. It should be kept in the original sources for generations to come. But if you are using water more than your requirement, probably you are encroaching into the rights of your future generation. Because this planet is to be survived only on the availability of water. So this is what Jainism says.
Right, sir. But
Yeah.
sir, don't you think, sir, that whatever water we are consuming, it goes into the environment. Again, we get back whatever we are using. So, I mean, it's good to conserve and preserve water. But whatever we are giving to the universe gives us back.
Not the entire water, what actually our human body consumes and the animal consumes, that doesn't go back to the environment. It's only the water which is being used for other kind of purposes. So that goes in the form of evaporation. A little water goes back to the cycle, and also in other forms, like in a running water, whatever water goes, it will meet either the lake or something. But by that time, a lot of water is wasted to the soil vedose zone, as well as there are different kind of germs which are not seen. So they also consume the water and doesn't come back to the cycle. Of course, there is a hydrological cycle, but the part of that is not being recycled.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That answered my question. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure too.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Jain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Nice interaction.
Nice
Same.
interaction.
Thank you,
Love.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
very much,
Padam,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yugandhar,
Thank you,
sir.
ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Bye.